This is Mentally Dope. Join us, Charmaine and Jasmine, two Black licensed therapists, as we build a bridge between mental health and Black culture. Come on, it's gonna be dope.
Hi guys,
Welcome back.
we're back. It's Mentally Dope. I'm Charmaine.
I'm Jasmine.
This is Jasmine. Today we are talking about a movie that you guys put in the comments. Yes, we read the comments. That's that face right there. That Jasmine said that I put this movie in the comments and y'all traumatized her again.
It's less trauma. It's more, I can't get this time back. I can't get it back.
I am reclaiming my time.
I would like to reclaim my time, but I can't.
Okay, so you guys commented and asked us to do Above the Rim. So that's what we're doing. Above the Rim.
What's the movie about? What's the synopsis?
Okay, so the synopsis is about Dwayne Martin plays a basketball high school star who is I believe like egotistical. He's like big headed. Oh,
Kyle.
that's his name.
Big brain.
So Kyle is playing basketball. He's in high school. He's really, really good. He does not want to share the ball with anybody. Whatever. And then we also
going on.
His dad's not around. His mom is working multiple jobs to take care of him.
Pressure.
He has a best friend who went to juvenile, which is Marlon Wayne, some boogaloo. That went to juvenile.
Shout out to Boog.
That came back and is trying to get him to hang out with the neighborhood bully, who's like big time. Like ooh. So the neighborhood bully in this movie is Birdie, who is Tupac. And then we also see Tupac's older brother, Shep, who's played by Leon, and who's played by Leon.
We can talk about that for a long time. That man is beautiful.
Because Leon played all the roles in the 90s.
Sure did. That's the originator of, I love for chocolate men. It's Leon.
Sexual chocolate. So then we see this twist that happens in the movie when we find out that Birdie and Shep are brothers.
Plot twist.
So in this episode, we're going to talk about the contrast between Birdie, the neighborhood gangster, and
Shepherd.
Yes, the neighborhood hoop star. Or past tense used to be hoop star.
Turned, I don't.
Okay.
Okay,
so
they're different. We're going to talk about how they're different.
So let's talk about Shep first.
Okay, so Shepherd, like I said, like Charmaine said, used to be a basketball star, comes back to the school that he used to play at, that he, I guess, graduated from, after he's run away for like 10 years, right, to work as a security guard.
Like we didn't say why he ran away. So Shep was playing basketball once, like with like his best friend Nutso. All these hood nicknames. He was playing basketball with his best friend Nutso, and they were playing the game like above the rim. Who can hit above the rim? An accident happens. Nutso dies. Questions that he answers.
We'll talk about it a little bit more.
But an accident happens. Nutso dies.
His best friend dies. He, like I had said before, if he does not have trauma from that experience, he definitely had trauma after that experience, about that experience, because everybody always brings it up, always talks about it, always says, he was like following after you. That's how he died. There was an article, saying like he's a great star, but he had this one fatal flaw. Like there was just a lot surrounding it that like if he didn't already have issues with the fact that he saw his best friend die in front of him, that he would have after that.
100%.
So he's traumatized. He has PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And of course, we're diagnosing this man that we do not know and that is not real. But it is clear that he has trauma. How do we know that he has trauma? Because from the way they put it in the movie, he's in shutdown. Right? And so, like, there's long scientific
explain
theories around this that are very scientific. I'm not going to get into all that. But essentially, what you need to know is there's fight, there's flight, there's freeze, there's other ones, but we're not going to talk about that. He is in freeze. He's in shutdown mode. So at some point, he was in flight. He left. He got the heck out of Dodge. It was like, I'm done. I'm running away from this. Now he's in shutdown, which means, well, you can tell he's in shutdown because when people call his name, he can't really hear them. He's almost like on autopilot. He's seeing through people. He's not actually being present and in the moment. He has some social issues. He's a little bit awkward. And not to say that those things mean you have trauma, but they can
Definitely
look
be
like
trauma
something else
responses.
and be trauma.
Yeah.
Right?
And we also see that in the sense of like when people try to pull him out of his social, because like it
Yeah.
translates into like some like strange behaviors, because
Yes,
like, he comes
it
back
looks
and he's like
strange to the
playing
naked eye.
basketball without a ball,
Without
and
a ball.
he's like playing Nutso again. He's like yelling at him in his head.
He's re-experiencing this traumatic thing that happened over and over and over.
Yes.
By
And
playing basketball.
when someone tries to pull him out of it by like, at least like him calling his name, he like,
He has a startle response because he's literally re-experiencing, right? Or I guess some people call it having a flashback in that moment over and over again, which is really common for trauma survivors, right?
Yeah.
We don't get to choose when we re-experience. It's something that our brain and body does. And so it's hard to watch.
yeah, which is also like a side nugget that I tell people a lot.
Well,
when,
give us a nugget.
when working through trauma, it's not so much about that you're making the event not happen, because like, you know, we can't. Yeah, we can't get rid of it, but you can work through it and heal from it so that it does not feel like that you're continuing to relive it.
And that the memory of it, this is one thing that helps in EMDR, the memory of whatever is happening is no longer leading or in charge of your life, right? Your
Yes.
responses aren't based off of the difficult part of that memory.
Yeah. So then like, so we see Shep, and Shep comes back from, so he's in flight, but he's in like this like weird, we're not 100% sure why he came back. He chose to come back to the exact hood that he lived in before. He chose to come back
To the same school.
yeah, to the same school that he worked
coach.
at. So it almost seemed like he was having like this whole response of wanting to be seen but being scared to be seen. Like the whole thing of like, look at me, don't look at me, love me, don't love me. Like, you know, see me, but I don't want you to see me.
That whole push and pull that happens.
Yes. And so it's like the idea that our greatest need is to be seen, but our greatest fear is also to be seen.
It's the same coin, right? It's just two heads of the same coin. And Shep is on a spectrum that we're all on, right? He may be the more extreme side, but we all have that like desire, that need, and those behaviors around that need.
Yeah.
And so it looks different person to person.
Yeah. And then and like this whole idea that we see that Shep just like walked away from his entire life. Don't really know what happened.
Yeah, we don't know the details.
Yeah, I don't really know
We
like
just
what
know
happened
he
in
stopped
between.
playing basketball after his friend died.
And then something happened. He left, and he walked away from his entire family and his entire life and whatever else he had in this neighborhood. Where he went, don't know.
Right. But you can also see, I think, like we have said, that like something in him was trying to heal. Right? Whether that's in like the front of his brain, is the example I use with my clients a lot, or the back of his brain. Something in him was trying to heal because he showed up at that school, a place that he ran away from. Right? At the same place with the same people, whether he was ready to do that or not.
And I'm a little curious because like, you know, the movie does not expound, but sometimes in like those trauma responses, like
Expound, okay.
I can't stand you. But sometimes in those like trauma responses, it's like the whole idea that you become stuck or stagnant in that place of life. So in his mind, I'm wondering if he just like really believed that time had stopped, that he was literally in freeze mode, time had stopped, and then someone calls him and says that his mom dies. So it's like in that moment, time clearly did not stop because something happened. Something big happened. Your mom died. So now you have to come back and be present.
But he could have just came back from the funeral and burying his mom and went back to wherever he was.
He could have.
He stayed.
Yes.
Something clicked for him that he was like, I want to shift. I want to do something differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of family dynamics.
Yes. Let's go into the little brother. Birdie.
He bird to me because I have problems with this character. But again, he's a character. He's not a real person. But go ahead. What do we need to know about Birdie?
I do think he's a real person. So I don't know. Me and Jasmine are like conflicted on this because I think that it was like the whole idea that yes, he was the neighborhood bully. Yes, he was like, you know, a gangster and he clearly killed people, whatever.
Sold drugs, all these things.
But for me, I looked at him like a scared child. I saw him in this one interaction that happened between him and Shep where he is explaining stuff, and I saw him as a kid.
I want us to act it out, kind of. But go.
I saw him as a kid. Like, so if we're going to estimate Shep's age and say that like 10, 15 years has passed since this incident, so, and he's like got to be like 30 something, I'm going to estimate that like Birdie was like probably like 6, 7 years old or somewhere around this around this age when everything was happening. So imagine that there's multiple siblings. We don't know how many. There's multiple kids. There's a mother who has struggling with addiction, and then we have an older brother who plays basketball, and he's really, really good at it.
All the attention is on him.
Yes.
All the hopes and dreams about
Yes.
the family, getting out of the hood, getting rich, being taken care of.
He's gonna save us.
Is on Shep.
Yeah. So
Right?
so whether he meant to or not, it could have been something that he loved and just like happened to be good at it, but it became a hope for the family. But
It's
even
a lot of
looking at
pressure.
it from Birdie's standpoint, that was like my savior. Like he was going to save us. Mama keeps telling us he's going to save us. He's going to make things better. He's gonna come back for us.
Right?
And then years and years just keep passing, and
He doesn't
he's
come back.
not coming back.
Until mom dies.
And then and then on top of that, but he's not coming back. Mom is getting worse. There's other siblings. I need to step up.
Somebody has to take on the role of caretaker because mom is not able to right now. So one thing that was put on one child to do,
A child.
who was not an adult,
Yes, a child.
to take care of a family, was passed down to another child
A child.
to take care of the other
It
children.
was his own child.
Right? It was already dysfunctional from the beginning. It's passed down the lineage to the brother, and we just have a whole slew of problems.
Yeah. So then for Birdie, which I'm still saying I'm sympathizing with him because I feel like that for him, he's looking at his older brother who was able to do this by playing basketball. And for him to say, well, I can't play basketball. I don't have that kind of talent.
Well, what does that tell you? I need a hustle.
Yeah.
His hustle was basketball because he was going to probably go to the league and do all the stuff. I need my own hustle. What's my hustle?
I'm going to sell drugs.
And maybe that's the closest hustle.
I mean, and it makes sense.
It's quicker money. It's a quicker payoff than going to the NBA
I mean,
and
I think
trying to
that's-
get,
that's what they say a lot.
shows.
Like, the song lyrics tells you either you sell drugs or you play ball. Like that's it.
Those are choices.
So
They're
so
not
for
great
him,
choices.
so for him, he was like, I don't play ball, so I'm gonna sell drugs. But he also he felt proud of himself because he was able to provide for his family. He even came back to Shep that day, almost like he did want to hug.
Right. They meet at their mom's gravesite on her birthday.
Yeah, and,
Which I guess
and
is the-
Birdie's happy.
Yeah.
He's like, give me a hug. I didn't know you were here, which is
Right.
also a sign of hurt. Mind you, that I have an older brother that I love, that I've been missing, and then I find
ran
out
away.
Yes, and then I find out from other people that you're back in town. You didn't even call me.
You didn't call anybody in the
Yes.
family. You didn't let anybody know you were back. Any of that.
So I hear that you're in town. So I'm hurt, but I'm still happy to see you. And then I come to you to give you a hug, and you like.
Don't touch me. What you doing? Don't do
My
that.
question is like, what I do?
Yeah, exactly. Which,
You left me.
but see, that's the problem. Birdie couldn't even get to that, right? Like he couldn't even face that hurt of like, I just got rejected by my brother. What he did is he just got aggressive.
I think that it was a level of aggression, but I think it was also a level of like, you couldn't do it, so I stepped up. And
Yeah, he was trying to put that in his face.
But also, I think that there was also a part of him that he still wanted that validation. I
He
wanted you
wanted-
to be proud of me.
Yes,
I wanted you
to
to
see
know.
my worth
Yes.
in what I chose to do for the family. And he didn't get that. And that switch turned off real quick.
Yeah.
All right, if you're not going to be with me, you against me.
Yeah. But I still want to continue to show you how great I am.
Yeah, I think there is some hope in Birdie that, like, I could still win him over. I can still get him to see that, like, I am a good, worthwhile person. I did all these things, and I just need all these accolades.
Yeah.
And does that happen? Not really, but you can tell. Okay, this is where we differ. Charmaine has the bleeding heart. She has all of these empathy for
I
Tupac
do.
because she's like, oh my gosh, as a child, they left him. What happened? But
Yes.
I'm like, I think there's more to this story. I think maybe it has more to do. I mean, less to do with everything that happened to Shep and maybe there were some other family dynamics. Like maybe
I
your
mean,
brother was
yeah.
a terror the whole time, and you like good
I
riddance.
mean, but
I'm
he was
glad
a
I get to leave him
kid,
too.
though. He
But
was
I don't
he was
know.
a kid.
We don't know.
Okay, I'm saying he was a kid, and I think that this is like
He was
this
a
like,
kid, but I don't know what happened.
my hard thing was like it's like if we name like any movie, if it's Birdie or if it's like when he played Bishop and Juice, we're talking about Nino Brown, we're talking about like LL Cool J when his name was God, or like in all these like hood classics of like these neighborhood gangsters, all of them had stories. All of them,
Definitely.
they did not grow up just like little terrorists who were like bad. They were like there were like no like healthy family systems.
Oh, I
There was
agree.
no like fathers. So
I know there's a
do.
backstory. That's not my issue, though.
I feel like that the neighborhood gangster in this movie, that Birdie, I felt bad for him. I did. I feel like that in this moment, I think that this could have even been changed to me had Shep actually embraced him. If Shep would have walked up to him and gave him a hug and been like, I missed you or whatever, we could have saw a different interaction happen here.
Oh, definitely.
But he
it
was
would have looked
rejected.
way different, and that's part of the reason. But I think I'm more responding just to the movie and how they portrayed him. I wanted more backstory for Birdie. I wanted to know why or how, instead of just projecting of like the dude is kind of a mess, right? And like only seeing that exterior. We got more backstory with Shep. We didn't get as much backstory with Birdie. So
we
that
actually
changed
did not get a lot of backstory with Shep too, because we don't know what he's been doing for that whole.
We got more.
Yeah, for that whole
that,
time that he has.
Nobody was really that fleshed out. I'll say that. Besides Kyle and
and he
Kyle
wasn't either.
No, not that much, but he's just a smaller version of Shep. But we don't really know that.
Mm-hmm. I think that also, I know the one thing that you had pointed out before, too, was that looking at Birdie's behaviors, that most of the individuals who get in these roles, and especially like someone like Birdie, they got in that role because of hurt and rejection and lack of trust. If the father was not there, because clearly he's not mentioned, if mom has her own personal addiction issues, my older brother, who may have been looked at as a father figure, has left me. I don't trust people. And now we have this man who is in demand and in control in the neighborhood, but he's also very, very antisocial. We don't have friends. Why? Because I don't trust people.
We have something. I don't know what we have, but I will say maybe not antisocial. But also, for most people, not all people, but we'll say for most people, antisocial is not born, right? It is created through nurture.
Yeah.
Nature versus nurture, right? We'll say this. How do I say this in a way that makes sense? The nature builds off of the nurture that creates someone who struggles with antisocial stuff. And so, of course, it came from somewhere. And that's why he has the struggles and the success and strengths that he has.
Yeah. Because he's able to put people, he's charismatic. So I can tell you what you want to hear, and I can play on your things, and then but also keep you at a distance enough that I don't care about you.
Not really.
Even his closest right hand man was Woodhair, somebody else who plays all the roles. But at the end when he said for him to shoot Kyle, he handed him the gun. He had the gun in his bag. Buddy could have did it himself.
You could have.
But he was like, I'm not getting my hands dirty. I'm gonna hand it to my right hand man. You shoot him
in front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
Of all the witnesses. Questions that need answers. I'm not going into that right now. But you can tell that there also is a push and pull between these two brothers.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're also, this is the moment that I kind of only a fraction felt sorry for Birdie is when he is waiting. Who takes the time to wait outside in the 90s, okay, without a phone, without information, right? We just waiting outside, smoking a cigarette, waiting for their brother to walk by so that you can say a whole bunch of crazy stuff to them.
Oh,
like,
because I know,
but what does that tell you? That's a very kind of kiddie thing to do.
But he
of
had stuff that
I
needed
need
to
you
be
to
said.
know that this is how I feel, and it was a younger part. I'm gonna say that it was a younger part
It was
showing up
of
just being like, I'm really good. What about you? Like that, and then running away. And I was just
okay, let's pause into that real quick too, because that's something too to be able to address and for us to be able to identify is that we all have parts of self. Like all of us have parts of self. And sometimes our younger parts of us that have not healed yet, will continue to show up in us as adults. So whether or not it's the part of you that wants validation, whether or not it's the part of you that still gets nervous or still gets scared, sometimes that part is a child part of you that is continuing to pop up as an adult. And that's what you were saying happened to Birdie in that moment. That it was definitely a child part of him that was coming up in that moment. Yes. Who still wanted to like
that definitely tends to happen when we're with family, when we're triggered by family, because we have been with family since we were very young, right? And so that's kind of part of it. And she's talking about a theory called internal family systems, which some people subscribe to that, some people don't. But either way, it's fine. But that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying a little kid part shows up and it's like, I need validation. Or also like, I'm running the show right now. I'm going to show up and tell you how I feel at this moment. And that is not your most mature self. It's not your most healed self necessarily. But it's a need getting met. And he had some things he needed to say. Yeah. So instead of those two guys sitting down and being like, bro, this is what happened. This is what I was going through. I'm sorry I left y'all, blah, blah, blah. That's not what happened.
That's too vulnerable.
It's too hard. It's too vulnerable. Neither of them have the skills or the modeling to be able to do that, or even the mentors to, because you don't have to have all that stuff. But if you have two people around you that can kind of push you into that of being like, y'all need to sit down. How do I hold y'all accountable if y'all sitting down? Like, brotherhood needs to be over whatever beef there is. Yeah. That would have changed some things. But this is what I noticed too. The reason why Shep was able to heal in a different way that Birdie was not is because Shep had people around him that were willing to stand up to him
and push
him in the direction that he needed to go. It was Coach. It was Kyle's mom of being like, I don't like this behavior.
Even Kyle pushed him.
Even Kyle, absolutely. I don't like this behavior I've seen. You need to work through these issues. This is important to me. I see this in you. And it doesn't have to look this way.
Like, we saw it again when things got a little too difficult for Shep. His instinct was to run again.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm gone. And in that moment, he got pushback from people who were like,
don't run. Why are you running? Yeah. You're going to be here or you're not. If you run, there will be consequences for you. And that's why Shep changed, because he saw that and he cared about those people. But Birdie had made a situation where nobody could say anything to him negatively. And so nobody could push back against him. Nobody could say, I care about you enough that something needs to change. Or I'm not going to be around you anymore.
But that's also why I said I wonder if that would have changed some of it, if Shep would have come back and embraced him.
Well, it would have had to be Shep or someone else important. I don't know if it had to be Shep because they had issues. Yeah. But someone else important. But who was important to him? Yeah. Everybody else was kind of disposable in Birdie's eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're seeing like the contrast between the one brother that went in one direction and the one brother who, like, both of them trying to be parentified and saving their family, but in two different ways. One saying, I'm going to sell drugs and hustle, and the other one's like, was going to be a hoop star, and then we saw what life happened to them.
Yeah. Two sides of the same coin, right? Both trauma, both gone through very similar things, but they went two different directions.
Yeah. All right, so Jasmine said that she had several questions that needed answers. Let's go into this. What are the questions that need answers for this movie, Jasmine?
Okay, guys. Look, I don't know what was going on in the 90s. Maybe there was a low budget. I just feel like things didn't get fleshed out. We have questions. Okay, these are my questions that need answers. Who plays basketball in a Letterman?
So wait. I did ask my husband this question, and he did.
There's an answer, please. Come.
Yes, he told me that like playing a game, maybe not, but shooting around, they were really happy to wear their Letterman jackets because it meant that they actually had them. So they would shoot around in the Letterman jackets.
But they were like really playing for a second.
It was cold outside.
You were playing baseball. Night. Anyway, we're gonna continue on. I'm not taking that as an answer. Bowl cuts, y'all. We chose that on purpose. We thought that was cute. I'm not coming for you. I'm just saying. My first question was, why is Marlon Wayans in this movie? Why? But then I found, because I thought it was more of a drama than a comedy, but it was a little bit of both, which I appreciated. So I just had questions, but we're gonna bypass that.
I feel like that Marlon Wayans is a very, very slept on actor.
Oh, he's a good dramatic actor too. Yeah. But that was not his role in this movie. He was to be the comic relief.
He was,
for sure. But at first I was like,
when he like changed that trajectory real quick. But
why did they? What? We gonna keep going. Boink, boonk. What is it?
What happened?
When somebody wins a basketball game, you get to get boonks.
Oh, we was
I
asking,
had to
we was asking
look
that
that
same
word
question,
up.
and I was just like, why
It's
did he
gotta
bend
be
over
a-
like that?
It's got to be a regional thing because I was concerned. I was like, this is going to a very unsafe place. But do you know what that means? I looked it up. Now I know.
No,
Oh, it's not scary. It's like, is it? How do you say it?
I don't
Please.
know.
What is this? Where were they at? Cali? Chicago? Where are they at?
I thought that they were in New York or Jersey. I don't know.
East Coast? I don't know. I thought it was Midwest. I thought it was Chicago situation.
What does it mean?
This is regional, okay? This is cultural. It means if you lose something, then you get to get kicked in the behind. So when him and Flip were playing, so it's like bragging rights basically, but you also
Girl,
get to
that's
kick
not what
somebody.
I was thinking. But go ahead.
Exactly.
That's not because I'm telling you, you see a man like bend over like that. I was like, what's happening right here?
Yeah, but he was a child. That's also why I was concerned. I was like, what's happening here? This
Yeah,
is going
I
to
was
a
not
dark
ready.
place. Anyway, if y'all knew what that meant, please let us know in the comments because I had no idea.
I had no idea.
Okay, so are we supposed to believe that Dwayne Martin was a teenager in this movie? This man looked grown.
Y'all know that for a lot of movies, you see stuff like don't even put it on Dwayne because even like Dawson's Creek, all of them was like 30+ years old playing.
But they didn't look
yes,
30.
They did.
Not all of
James
them.
made a big look like he was about 30 years old. Pacey didn't, but the other ones did.
I didn't watch it, but I'm just saying we were supposed to believe that. Okay, whatever, that's fine. This is my question that we talked about before. Who waits outside for someone to pop up just to taunt them? Just to taunt them and tell
That
them
inner child self.
Exactly. Did Shep vow to never touch a basketball again, or was he actually just re-experiencing?
I don't know.
Like, was there, like, he literally wouldn't, he touched a basketball. Like, he would pick it up, but he would not play with it.
I don't know.
Questions. All right. Do gangsters have organized sports? Do they have gangster sports leagues? And if they do, that's news to me.
I don't know if it's like an organized sports league.
He
but
organized the sport. He said, y'all on my team.
Yes. He had a team, but the tournament wasn't his. But yes, do they have teams? 100%, girl. Yes.
But he didn't play on it. He was a coach.
Exactly. That's why I say he didn't get his hands dirty. He wasn't talented, but he was the one who had control over and oversaw it. Like Birdie had some leadership skills, and he was able to hustle. But
okay. Gangsters don't drive.
No, they don't drive. They always get chauffeured.
No, they
always get chauffeured. They ride. Let me ride on the side and do my business, and you drive me. It's a control thing.
That's why they shouldn't. That's why I would have a problem with it. I need control. I'm going to be driving. Y'all going to be riding.
But I feel like
if I want to drive this thing off the cliff, we going to go off the cliff because I'm in control.
But in most of the ones
you could be taking me to a setup.
I mean, that makes sense. But in most of the ones I've seen, like in people that I know or the movies that I've seen, they don't. They just ride because they want to be chauffeured.
I'm not buying it, y'all. So those are my questions. That is not comprehensive. There are more questions, but I'm just saying those are my baseline questions I just had.
I mean, this is definitely one of those movies that had gaps that we tried to.
I just think it was a low budget, which is not their fault, okay? Because, struggles getting things to happen in the 90s, but we were very much slept on as hard. But, my gosh, it's imperfect, but it's okay.
Okay.
Y'all, that's it.
So, guys, that was our contrast of the two brothers and Above the Rim. Plus, all of our questions that need answers. Comment, like, subscribe, answer the questions. Talk to us. We talk back. And
stay mentally dope, y'all.
That's the one.
What?